Hey everybody, I'm Dennis Hurst. Today we're going to be working at pruning a couple of roses. It's early spring and it's a good time to get these pruned up. And as you can see, this one here is pushing lots of new growth already. Early spring is a good time to do this. Ideally probably about a week or two ago when there wasn't quite as much growth, but we're still fine. You can prune these on up until mid to late April, and without losing any flowering later on in the season. So this guy has been left go for a little bit. We've trimmed it every year. We try and give this a trimming, and it's got kind of an odd structure. I'm gonna do my best to get this cleaned up and ready to go for a new season. This is the really pretty rose from David Austin. I think it's somewhat French, and I don't know how to pronounce the second part of it, but the first part is Tess, and we'll put the name of it in the video. But great rose, beautiful red flowers. This has been this is done very, very well. Very vigorous, as you can see. Like, we've got about 3 feet of new growth on here from last season, and yeah, it's been doing really good. I'm really happy with it. We had flowers up until frost last year, so very hardy, not super fragrant, but a very good performer. So one thing you want to do when you're pruning a rose is, so I want to knock out a good bit of branching here, what you want to do is reduce the amount of buds that the energy is going to. So I'll probably cut out a couple of these main branches and reduce, so like, let's see here. This in here you can see a little bit better in the front. This has a couple of side branches and then one big one at the top with 2, 3 large canes coming off of here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. And so that takes out over half of the buds on this stem. I'm going to prune this guy back to, ideally a bud that's facing out. And some of these buds are already pushing out some soft growth. Some of them are still tight. It's probably more important to get to a bud that's facing out than to one that's facing in but is already growing, because the bud that's still tight, that'll still produce. It just didn't have to, because there was more buds up further on the stem that it was putting energy to. So come back to this side, and I'm going to take out this guy here. This is one of my thorniest roses, and you got to be careful. It'll get you. So when we're done, we'll probably have about, I don't know, about a third of the branching left on here. And it seems a little harsh, but the fact is, if you don't, you're going to end up with a lot of growth on a lot of branches, which means it won't grow nearly as much. So you won't have as much of that big push of new growth and new flowers. So if you can concentrate the energy to a couple of main branches, it will actually bloom a whole lot better, because it's starting off, all over again. And yeah, it always pays to trim more out. So when we trim our bare root roses that come in, that we pot up, they get knocked back to just a couple of stubs. Like, the length of my pruners here is the length that we use to kind of gauge, like, that's how long you want your little rose to be cut to. So that'll, like I said, that channels more energy to a couple of key buds, and you end up with a larger and more vigorous plant in the end. So it is important to cut hard, and you'll be rewarded with more flowers. Now this one I had cut around about 2 feet tall, 2 feet around, 30 inches around. So I've got a lot of buds coming up above that. It'd be kind of nice to bring this down a little bit lower and have more at the base to work up from. So what I should have done a couple years ago is cut it harder, yeah, back when it was younger, but didn't do that. So now I got what I got, and we'll try and make this work. You can cut roses back pretty hard onto old wood, and they'll push out buds. When I moved into my house, there was an old rose by the herb garden that had a really woody trunk. It was yeah, pretty thick, and there was just a little mop of branches that kind of went over the fence. And in early spring, first year I was there, I cut it back pretty hard. I was a little nervous because it's a really nice rose. I didn't want to lose it, but it pushed out beautifully, and it's better than before. So yeah, they don't mind being cut pretty good. So let's see here. A lot of your long sprays, like I said, you want to get them down as far as you can, within reason. And these do have joints, so you want to get somewhere just above a bud, about ½ inch above the bud is good, because you don't want a lot of excess dried up dead wood. Let's see, I cut that there. So sometimes, like here, you can see there's a couple of different forks of branching, and I'm going to take out this one, so that leaves this Y over here, and this bud will get cut back to there, and this similar deal. I've got a couple of shoots real close together, and I take the center out. This is a little bit congested in here. I'm tempted to remove one of these completely. What I'm afraid of, though, is that I will be cutting off a bit much, that I won't get that really full growth that I want. But I might, you know what, let's see. This is really crowded here. I'm going to cut this one right there. And then this guy will get nipped out like that. This branch is coming over. I'm just going to trim that back to a short stub. And that'll be good right there. And let's pop that tip off, and let's see, a little bit of high branches here yet. I'm going to take this down about 1.5 feet here. You still want to end up with somewhat of an even arc across your branches. You don't want to have a big gaping hole in the middle. If your sides get too high, you can trim more off. Looking at it now, I might actually want to pop this one down a little bit further. Because like I said, it's gonna push out new growth anyway. So you don't have to be too fearful of messing it up. You know, what you would not want to do is take it all the way down into to about a foot tall. That'd be too much. You would have, that's just too much to remove at one shot. And if you're going to do that, like I said, you want to start early. First year after it's planted, you'd want to start cutting down pretty hard and working your way up to build up some more structure. And they're still going to reach up to about 5-6 feet. And this thing was 6 feet tall as me when I started, and we're back down to about 30 inches. What works really nice, if you have a branch that's got a couple of long shoots and you can find one nice Y in the structure, just leave those two branches out, cut off the top above, trim the sides back, and it'll fork out real nice. And you'll have like I said, you'll have a higher concentration of energy to one spot. And that should do it. So next up, we're going to trim a shrub rose, and there's a big difference how we do that as compared to this one here. So come on back to the new garden behind the pergola, and we'll show you how to do that one there. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To see more of our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can see when new videos get uploaded. And we'll see you again soon.